we're back again with our next edition of Clover Connections. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that many of you might be grappling with. How do we do 4-H club and group elections during a time of COVID when we know that our restrictions might not allow us to get together in person the way we used to? So we'd encourage you to pull out your club bylaws and take a peek at who in your bylaws who is eligible to vote. In most of our cases, that is a 4-H member that is enrolled in your club, sometimes a leader. But just keep a lookout for who might be wanting to vote in your club that might not be officially eligible to do that, like a parent or a guest that might be in the space. We've also gotten the question from a couple of people about, can we just keep our officers from last year for this upcoming 4-H year? And again, we take a peek at your club bylaws to see what that says about any of that. And if you've got questions, reach out to your local educator. But let's say you're ready to have your club vote. We've got a couple of different options for you. So we're going to get started with you, Marie, talking about an option for doing club elections.
So one of the ways that you can do it is the traditional way of a paper ballot. And what you would need to do is have that go out to your members and have them vote and send it back. Or you could have a box maybe on the general leader's porch or something like that people could just drop it in the box. But the key is that you have to make sure that it's the members that are voting. And if you have a couple of members in your house, that they each get a chance to vote for their club officers.
Kind of reminds me of a polling location, like you kind of set up a polling location. You come drop by a leader's house, fill out your ballot, and walk out. So great, thanks, Marie. Dawn, we were talking about another option earlier.
So you can add a little bit of technology to your voting. You can do an email ballot. Your club leader can email out the slate of officers to all of the families, and again, making sure that everybody has that opportunity to vote, and then email your votes back to that general leader for tabulation. So that's another way to add just a little bit of technology to that traditional process.
Yeah, and I think it's important that we remember that every individual member, if they have their own individual email address, would need that so that it's not a family vote unless your bylaws say you vote by family. Jill, you had an idea using a little more advanced technology.
You know, one of the things we've been using a lot lately is Zoom. So there is actually a feature in Zoom called polling. So your 4-H educator can help you set up a poll, or we can talk you through how to set up a poll. As long as we have the list of individuals who want to be on the ballot ahead of time, we can set that poll up. Then each individual who has a device in your household can vote. So looking at your bylaws to see how many people in your household can vote. So if there are 2 members, maybe you have 2 devices, maybe a smartphone and a tablet, or a smartphone and a computer, that each of those individuals could vote in that poll. So really thinking through, how could I use Zoom in part of that Zoom meeting and run that poll? And that would be a really easy way to vote in a Zoom meeting.
Awesome. There's another idea, I think, that combines what Jill just mentioned about online voting and Dawn mentioned about email voting. We can help you set up a Google form. Of an online voting form that you put in your ballots, that you put in the names of your officers that are running for positions, and it gets emailed out to all of the individual people, and then it goes into an automatic spreadsheet for you. So your local educator might be able to help fill that out. It's a combination of technology from Jill and email from Dawn. The other thing that we mentioned earlier, Jill, is sometimes our clubs have a little more contentiousness around some elections. So.
Yeah. You know, Melinda, that's really true. I think sometimes there's meetings where there's maybe a runoff for a position that's highly coveted. There's a lot of people who want to be president, or people are feeling uncertain about this voting piece and how it's going to really work, and they want to make sure that it's coming back to maybe somebody that's not in the group. So that's where your local educator could work with you to make sure that you have an opportunity to maybe send those ballots back to them in whatever way, shape, or form that is, and they can work with you, whether that's through a Google form or another type of form that's online, or through a lot of different ways that we can make sure that that maybe goes back to as a separate person who's not part of that group, whether that's a 4-H educator or another trusted member of our 4-H community.
There's lots of options out there for us to get through these votes. We know these are unprecedented times, so please reach out to your local educator as you start to think about how you are going to do club elections this year. Join us for our next issue of Clover Connections.